Today I'll be doing a comparison between the Beats Studio Buds and the AirPods Pro 2. Now these right here, I've used both, and I'm going to kind of tell you which one I think is better and which one's best for your situation. This right here, the Beats Studio Buds, you can tell the first difference here is that there is a slight size difference. The Beats is a little bit larger than the AirPods Pro 2. This is going to be a lot more pocket friendly when you put it into your pocket. The other difference I'm going to make is that the comparison on this as far as the speaker quality. The speaker quality on these two when you're playing music in your ears, to be honest with you, extremely similar. There's not a huge difference one way or the other. This one has a little bit more of a hollow sound stage, and this one has a little bit more bass. But overall, when you're listening to music, there's not a whole lot of difference there. They're both very similar in that regard. Battery life. Battery life is about 5 hours for both. Both offer noise canceling. The noise canceling on the Beats Studio Buds is good. The noise canceling on the AirPods Pro 2 is absolutely next level. I'd recommend if you're looking for noise canceling, definitely go this route. Now, price-wise, what are we looking at pricing here? These right here you can find in the renewed section on Amazon right now for about $60. And these right here you can find anywhere between $150 and $200. So there is probably right there the biggest difference so far is the actual money you're going to be out of pocket. These are going to cost you a pretty penny. They're going to cost you substantially more, 3 times, perhaps even 4 times more than what your Beats Studio Buds will cost you. Now, who would I recommend this for? If you're using an iPhone, I think you should go this route. The reason for that is because with this one, when you're using it, the call quality is substantially better than on the Beats Studio Buds. Now, I'm not saying the call quality is bad on these, but the call quality on this is just amazing. Very clear, cuts out noise really well on phone calls. The other thing with the calls is that when these are in your ears and you're using an iPhone, the call comes in, it automatically switches to your AirPods. So you put these in you have this in your ear, a call comes in, it automatically goes right into your ear. So you accept the call automatically when you're using an AirPods Pro 2. Versus on this one, the call comes in, these are in your ears, and then all of a sudden, guess what? The phone call is still in your phone. You have to literally go into your settings menu and go to your Beats Studio and switch over, which is quite a bit of an inconvenience. Versus this, which if you're using an iPhone, this is a very, very seamless experience. The other difference I'm going to kind of point out to you guys, if you're getting these for use with an Android, I would recommend probably just going this route because, to be honest with you, for $60, you get very similar battery life, very similar call quality. The advantages you get when you're using this are pretty much negated when you're using an Android phone. So if you're using an Android phone, I think it's hands down, go with the Beats Studio. The other difference too is both of these are using USB-C to charge, which is great because if you have an iPhone from 15 forward or an Android from the last like 10 years, they all use USB-C. But here's the one difference I'm going to point out to you. This right here, you must charge with USB-C. It's required. With this one here, if you don't want to use USB-C, you pop it onto MagSafe charger. This will charge up that way. With this one right here, there is no MagSafe. Another difference I'm going to kind of point out to you guys is that when you're looking at these two, notice as you look close, there's a tremendous amount of discoloration and scratches on the surface of these. These are a gloss white. And over time, these do not age well as far as the case wise. It picks up a lot of micro scratches and looks very dull after a while. Now this one right here, there is a matte texture to it. I've had these for almost 2 years now, and if you look at it, there's not a scratch anywhere. And that goes right to the actual texturing on the case. The texturing on the case with this makes it look better for a longer period of time. Versus if you have these for 6 months, they look like they're 4 years old because of how many scratches it picks up. Magnet quality. Magnet quality on these is amazing. They can be pulled out with a lot of effort on the Beats, but as far as if you're just shaking them normally, these are not going to fall out on you. The ones on the AirPods Pro 2, also amazing. These are easier to grab to get out of the case, however. I will point that out. Getting these out of the case is substantially easier than getting the Beats out of the case. But in favor of the Beats, these stay in my ear really good, but these right here, I'm guessing it's the profile of them, but when I put these in my ears, they almost never ever fall out. Also, it's harder to bump them because the profile is so much shorter. So what sticks out of your ear is much shorter. What sticks out of your ear with this is a lot easier to accidentally bump and knock off when you're walking or running. So as far as fit wise, I actually feel that the Beats fit better in my ear than the AirPods Pro do. Call quality, like I said, better on the iPhone if you're using AirPods Pro 2. A little bit worse on an iPhone if you're using the Beats, but on an Android, honestly, they're about a horse apiece. There's not any real difference here. So what it really comes down to is, if you're using an iPhone, I'd recommend you go with this. It might cost you 3 or 4 times as much, but I think it's worth it if you're using an iPhone. If you're using an Android, or if you're using an iPhone and you're trying to save money, these are perfectly fine right here. You know, these are great. I've been using them for 2 years. One of the biggest things with these is that if you're around people, and in the US, there's a lot of people that use iPhones. Everybody is going to have these. And here's the thing is, everyone will want to take them thinking that they're theirs because they all look the same. Anybody who's using an iPhone has probably got themselves a pair of AirPods Pro. And at that point, they're very difficult to keep. You know, I've lost several pairs of these. Not that I've lost them, but my kids grab them, my wife grabs them, and they're theirs at that point. You know what I mean? With this, I've had these for 2 years and I haven't lost one pair of earbuds because my kids and my wife hate these things. No one will want to take them from you, and that's one of the advantages to getting this. Also, like I said, pricing. This is about 3 to 4 times less money than the AirPods Pro in the used market. And if you're using an Android, this is a complete no-brainer. They sound great. They stay in your ears wonderful. You do miss out on a little bit of the charging features. You don't have MagSafe with this, but hey, for 60 bucks, it's a great deal. The other thing I'm going to point out too is that if these are out of the case, and say you have them sitting out of the case, both of these can be chirped with either a Droid or with a iPhone. But here's the thing is, if you're using a iPhone and you're using the AirPods Pro 2, you can not only make the buds go off, you can make the case go off. You don't have the ability to make the case go off with an Android or an iPhone. With the Beats, you can only make the buds go off. The other beautiful thing about the iPhone is if you're using an iPhone and you have the AirPods Pro 2, yes, they do cost more money, but with this one, if these are out of the case, you can use precision finding on an iPhone. Anything recent, like an iPhone maybe 11, 12 or up, as long as you don't have a 16 or a 17E, it has precision finding, and you'll be able to find the earbuds individually, as well as if they're in the case and the case is closed, you can make not only the case go off, which is an advantage you don't have here, but precision finding will tell you in which direction the case is at, which you don't have that advantage with this. It'll tell you where the individual AirPods are at, it'll make them chirp, but you don't get any precision finding on the Beats. You do get that with the AirPods Pro 2. Like I said, if you're an iPhone user, I highly recommend you spend the extra money on yourself and get yourself the AirPods Pro 2. But if you are on a budget, or if you're using an Android phone, the Beats right here are definitely the winner price-wise. And here's the thing is, on an Android phone, you lose out on 90% of the advantages you get with this. They're no better than the Beats at that point. And if you have an Android phone, or say you're using an iPhone 16e or a 17e, at that point, I would just advise you to go for the Beats Studio. They're a lot cheaper and they sound great in your ears. That's my review, guys. Have a wonderful day.